Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, I have a juicy update for you guys on the Ripple v SEC lawsuit. And I want to jump right into this specific piece. Just for reference here, June 7th, there's going to be a conference, and we have just now gotten ourselves the information to actually be able to, call into this as well. Now, obviously, guys, I want y'all to press the freaking subscribe button with the notification, because on June 7th, we are going to be live streaming as much of this as possible. But again, I'll cover what exactly this means right now. So, Finland Law shared breaking call-in information for the conference scheduled for Tuesday, June 7th at 3 p.m. to discuss internal documents related to Hinman's June 14, 2018 speech has been posted, and it's below. Sarah Netburn, the judge, said a conference is scheduled for June 7th. Members of the public may listen in to the proceedings at the following numbers: unauthorized recordings and rebroadcastings of the conference on YouTube, Twitch, etc. Is strictly prohibited, and any unauthorized recordings will be investigated, and anyone found to engage in such behaviors may be subject to criminal sanctions. So as I already described to you guys before, and as we've already done before, we shall not, let's make it very clear, be live streaming this directly. What I'm going to try to do is actually listen in on this and cover basically as much of the results and anything whilst it is happening. So if you're a fan of this lawsuit, I recommend you guys to be there June 7th at 7 p.m. because regardless of what's happening in the world, I'm going to drop every single thing to go. Okay, not every single thing. Never mind. That's a lie. All right. It's important, but it's not that important. And then go to a computer to stream for you guys this type of stuff. If you want the information in an easier to copy fashion, I've also put up a tweet where you can just quickly and easy copy the message. So again, make sure you go ahead and check that out over on my Twitter. Having said that, there's more that's come up today. Stevens said this: breaking, the SEC filed an emergency motion to reconsider, now arguing that their former client Bill Hinman signed an adoption agreement with the agency in May of 2018, and therefore it cannot be required to testify against its own child. I think he's just, joking around with us. Not exactly sure why he's doing that. Then again, it could have a couple of different meanings, because at the end of the day, whenever I read this type of stuff, guys, I'm like, oh no, that's too crazy to be true. And then I look at the account, I'm like, oh, that's a satirical account, sure. But sometimes I look at this Ripple lawsuit and think, hey, that must surely be a joke, right? That's just a meme. Oh, another delay. That must surely not be the truth, right? But then I look at the account owner and I'm like, oh no, this is real stuff, all right? They're just literally that crazy. So nothing surprises me anymore, all right? But let's assume that this is just a joke because he says he's trying to be funny, I guess. We have some real news though. Breaking. Senior Republican on Senating Banking CMTE Mike Crapo, nice name, responds to Connect to Congress campaign. Calls for Empower US Hinman referral especially grave given SEC's subsequent lawsuit against Ripple and XRP, one of the Ethereum rivals. Let's continue on. Senator Crapo's statements comes after over 40,000 messages have flooded Congress over crypto laws Connect to Congress app on the gross appearance of the improprieties by former SEC official Hinman. Keep up the pressure, it is working. He's referring now that you should keep connecting to Congress whenever you have the opportunity to. Or I guess if you've not done it before, mostly because, well, I think it's a good thing, Let's be real here. I think it's a very good thing that people connect to Congress as much as possible because it shows up for them. It's like, well, they see it at least. They if there's 50,000 people going through this stuff, you can you can barely ignore it, right? Or at least as far as I have been thinking or can think, you can't ignore if there's like 45,000 people talking about something. It might not get a public statement, but they have to think about it internally. And if it makes sense, well, then they're going to go for a complete investigation or something of the sort. That was a response to this earlier tweet. An XRP holder received this from Mike Crapo after using crypto laws Connect to Congress. Senator Crapo is the senior Republican on the Senate Banking Committee, slowly but surely. And it reads, On May 10th, Empower Oversight, a watchdog nonprofit, requested the SEC's Office of the Inspector General to conduct an investigation regarding the former SEC official William Hinman and his potential conflict of interest regarding Ethereum. In 2018, Hinman gave a speech stating that Ethereum sales and offers would not qualify as security transactions, which would not place them under the SEC jurisdiction. Empower Oversight claims Hinman did not follow the directives from the SEC's ethics office that would have allowed him to avoid conflicts tied to his financial interests in Simpson Thacher, his former and now current employer, and the firm's connection to the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance and Ether as a cryptocurrency. This claim is particularly grave in light of the SEC's ongoing lawsuit against Ripple. On December 2nd, 2020, the SEC announced that it filed an action against Ripple, one of Ethereum's rivals, and two of its executives, claiming that they raised $1.3 billion through an unregistered ongoing digital asset securities offering. The SEC argues that the success of Ripple's digital currency, XRP, relies on the promotion and innovation of Ripple and thus represents an investment in the company of itself. Under the Howey test used by SEC to determine whether a transaction qualifies as an investment contract, this would qualify XRP as a security instead of a commodity and falls under the SEC's jurisdiction. I agree that innovations such as crypto are inevitable and beneficial, and that the SEC should lead in their development as virtual currencies become a larger part of our trading marketplace. It is important that regulations keep pace in order to foster this technology while maintaining just and equitable standards and ensuring full transparency. This is a long read, and I will continue to make sure that with my colleagues and the administration to develop established practices for the use of crypto. But yeah, honestly, that's a very interesting response there. It's interesting how the congressman actually did respond, but mostly it's like a summation of all the information that's being given, no? So this person basically as a conclusion says, I agree that innovations such as crypto are inevitable and beneficial, and that the U.S. Nah, never mind. After reading for a little bit, he's just saying, well, I agree that crypto are a thing to stay. I'm going to look into it. That's basically it. The rest here is just like a summary of everything, right? This last part is just his own opinion, or am I getting that wrong? Because as far as I understand, somebody wrote to Congress with the initial request/information that Microsoft has to kind of, in this case, can respond back. But, this entire thing is like a summation of everything that's wrong. And this sounds like the most political answer ever, which is like, I very much agree with you that a lot of things are, crypto things are inevitable. And we are definitely going to look into, making sure that crypto is done right. There's a little bit more for today, though. John Deaton also said this. Notice how the SEC lawyer says Hinman provided and received confidential communications about the speech. What that means is the SEC is saying even Hinman's comments about the drafts of his speech are privileged. He was giving legal advice and receiving legal advice at the same time. And again, the more I read into this stuff, the more I start feeling like, there are a lot of these parts which just don't make a lot of sense. They just don't. So it just will take time for all these puzzle pieces to kind of fall into the same freaking puzzle in a little frame of sorts. Let's quickly see. In his official capacity in the non-public communications with the SEC lawyers, Hinman confidentially provided and sought feedback about his views on whether offers and sales of digital assets, including Ether, constituted security transactions. The comments on the speech reflect those confidential views and communications. Thus, disclosure would reveal SEC confidential information. At the end of the day, this guy's just one walking contradiction. One last thing I should add here, even though I wanted to make this a completely separate video, a couple of topics I had on the matter, let's just say this to end it off here. If you did not fully commit to crypto just quite yet, maybe reconsider. I am not your financial advisor, I'm not a legal advisor, but one thing I'm going to make really clear is that I, for 0 seconds a freaking day, doubt whether or not crypto is going to survive or grow. You guys all probably know by now, I use a lot of different exchanges for different things, right? One thing I'm honestly recommending all of you guys to do, though, is check out freaking Bybit. I've said it before. There's a couple of crazy bonuses that you can get. Right now, it's up to about, I think, like $4,800 if you use the link down below. But there's, for example, one thing they sent me today. And I can't use my camera here because, you guys have probably seen it by now. It's a little laggy, so... But let's keep it on until, I guess, if it lags out, right? It is what it is. They sent me today, for example, there's a really cool NFT that you can give away. And even though a lot of you guys might be like, oh, why, who gives a shit? Who cares about that? some of these things are so freaking valuable. Like, for example, the fact that we can double somebody's balance up to $10,000 a month, for example. I can give that away to somebody. And a lot of other cool giveaways or so you can be part of. But the most important thing is the big trading competition coming up next week or so. I want you guys all to be part of it because there's up to $6 million that we can win as a team. So the way I'm thinking about it is if we all come together as a team and start trading like freaking madman, what if we win the $6 million as a team? That would be huge. I'm not exactly sure how the split is going to look like, but that's just going to be freaking huge. And it's a percentage game. It's not about how much money you have. So I keep telling people, be part in these things because even though you might only have $500 to your name, I think that's the minimum amount of money you need to have. Not trade with, but have in your account. Even if you only have $500, some people have tens of millions of dollars in their account. You can still win, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. But yeah, check the link down below for Bybit. I'm going to definitely see you guys again in another crypto video. Just know, whatever you read right here, 20 insurance companies are already invested in Bitcoin, considering it. I keep buying these freaking cryptos every single day. I know it's going to be the standard. I know. And I keep trying to kind of pray that gospel, whatever you want to say, over on YouTube. I keep sharing the story, same story, but I just know it's going to keep increasing as time moves on.